Can you understand how you've took your uke, you're not getting hit, you've broke it into different stages, you've tried to keep to the very basic minimum amount, and if you understand that, then you can start mixing and matching and realising what you're doing. Not just trying to mimic somebody doing a gumi tagata or a kion. Yep. Oh, I think I've talked about it before, but when you're attacking or defending, it's not acceptable just to try and hit them. You have to choose your target. And it's important to understand what happens to their body. Well, let me try and explain it. This is your senju-sen, your center line. Okay? You've got two others through the eyes. So you've sectioned the head 1, 2, 3 into quarters. And through the nipples, basically. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections on the body. So when you actually strike a person, you obviously want to damage them, but you don't want to lower their force to come back. So if Sensei here takes a stance, fighting stance, no, face the audience. Face the team, not the audience. So, what Sensei's done here by moving his body is actually closed those quarters up to reduce the area that people can attack him. If he's square, can you say they've opened up, they're bigger quarters. But as soon as he does this, he's actually narrowed them. If he went a lot further, he'd actually just have one centre line. But you don't fight like that. Hold on.
I do.
Yeah. So when you're actually doing your partner work, you need to understand what's happening with their body, where you hit them. And I love it when somebody's got a badge on, because that gives me a target to hit sometimes. But I know that Sensei's going to be, if I hit him here, on the centre line or here, it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually eliminate him. If I do it, say, from the centre line backwards, trying to do this, if I hit him here, his body will rotate. If I hit him here, I'm taking his full force. I don't want to do that. I want to damage him, but I don't want any of his body weight coming back to me. So I try and hit him either in the centre or slightly off the centre to sort of rotate him. Do you understand that? So when you're doing your kions, when you're doing your basic partner work, you need to understand where to hit them. Also, it gives you an idea of where you've got to rotate your body and your head. What do I mean by that? Thank you, Sensei. I will ask you back in a sec. So this is what we're going to do. That punch into your head. You don't do it this slow, but you're realizing the move that you need to do and encompass all of those small attributes. You turn your head from the center to here, through your eye. That will still hit you. So then you encompass turning your shoulder and your body. And that will move your body even a little bit further over this way. Until you're in a position that you can do your kion. See if I can sense it again. So what we're going to use is, so we're going to go here, here, here. Not enough because you're still going to hit my ear, here, here. Right? Shoulders, I've moved it a little bit more. Now because I've wound this up, this is going to lend myself to then I can punch. So if we're doing the key-on number 1, if we're just doing this technique for the Jodan, yeah, I need to turn my head, turn my shoulders, turn my hip. Then you can punch. Not just. Can you see you turning each certain part? Then you can release it and punch. So I want you to get with your partner and nose, eye, ear, shoulders, hip, until you can't move anymore. Then you can punch. You must feel every little bit and piece of it. If you don't, you're missing something out of, on your key-on. Yeah? Out of your uke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Punch. Okay. Take your time, break it down. Thank you, Sensei. Move. Then let it go. Yeah? A lot of you are doing this, but you're leaving your head and your body, you're turning the head and turning the shoulders and turning the hip, but you've not moved off the center line. Center line, the attack. You move. Can you see I've gone off the center line? Some of you are doing. Trying to stop in the camera. Yeah, photo bombing, is it? When somebody dives in your photo, yeah? Go off, turn. Can you see I've gone off the center line? Then you can punch. So make sure as you're turning, you are going off the center line, not try and stick on it. Yeah, carry on. So when you're starting to use Taisabaki, that leg forward. You need to have all these separate elements in there. But it's not just for the gakuzu, for the punch, for the attack. It's also using, remember me talking about your wrists and your body movement? Really, when you do your key-ons or the attack Jodan, it's, okay, again. It's not right, is it? You want to bring this hand up. Remember when you did the Jodan ukis and you felt absolutely nothing? So, this is what it should be. But I can't do this because I'm going to punch myself in my own nose. So I need to move my head and my shoulders to put my fist where my head was. Because that's where they're punching to, my head. So I need to move my head out the way to be able to do my uke. So, move my head out the way. Not this. Turn. So can you try that? But you don't feel anything. You have to use your body by turning it. Turning your head, turning your body. Moving out. Yep. Okay, thank you. Carry on. Do you remember when we went right the way back at the beginning and we was using Junzuki stance to, come off the center? And on Nagasu, we went straight forward and we moved the back foot to come off the center. So when you're doing your key-on, or this key-on, I use my hip. It's my back foot that goes, but I bring my front foot across. If I leave my foot where it is, Graham Sensei would have pleasure in kicking me in the groin. Yeah? So I turn. It wants to move. It's a natural position, natural movement. It's almost like a controlled fall. Yeah? Now I want you to think about where you're putting your feet, doing Nagasu. But I also want you to feel this Noru, riding. So when it punches, can you see how I'm engaging it early? And turning my head. So it's not just a hit, but it's like a goal. I know nothing about football. I'm from West Brom. But a goalie, once he has to be there for a penalty. I know nothing about football. But if the goalpost, he's got all this distance to try. But when somebody's coming in with the ball, they go forward, don't they? Yeah, to narrow the angle. So when the punch comes, you need to sort of almost go forward with this hand to catch him. Not just react here, but forward. Yep. Which will lead on to the next thing we're going to do. Yeah? Carry on. We want to start using these basic elements and bring it into your this move, this Kion. Yeah. Sensei. So what we're going to use is a lot of inasu, redirecting. And you can then start breaking it down into different areas. And that's what we'll do. We'll take it step at a time, and we'll explore that little part of it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to reach out and try and take the wrist. Yeah, that's all we're interested in there at the moment, the wrist. So I'm going to do exactly the same. Jordan. And I want you to think about the wrist. And also, I want you to try and redirect it. You won't have much effect, but you need to follow me down this road, this avenue, yeah, of exploration. So go for the wrist and try and redirect. Try and redirect him to the side. You won't get much out of it, but it is a little bit there. And then we'll go further and further and further. Yeah? So try and do your Nagasu. Try and do a little bit of Inasu. And then we'll come back. Yeah? Wish. Thank you. You're forgetting, bear with me, you're forgetting these fundamentals. You're just thinking about. If you forget this, you haven't got any power. Can you see I'm winding my body up, the spring? But I'm moving my head. So you need to get that potential energy. The start of your potential energy. Because potential then goes to kinetic. Yeah? So, but we didn't get much inasu out of that, did we? Didn't get really much out of that. So, this is how you need to break your ukis down as well. So now, I'm going to be trying to take from the elbow, not the wrist. I'm going to be reaching out. And when I said to come out to meet the fist, the goalie coming out of his area to narrow it down, I'm going to be trying to go for the elbow. And hopefully I'll get a bit more inasu, redirection out of it. We haven't rehearsed this, have we?
No.
Oh, it's all right then. So,
Only last week.
only last week,
Not a problem.
for 20 hours. So I'm going to be, instead of going for the wrist, okay, I'm going to be going for, can you see how much more inasu I get out of it by trying to go for the elbow? Can you try that with your partners? Go for the elbow, but you have to reach. And then go for it. Gosh, thank you. Carry on. So, we tried here. We've tried here. Where else is there? Unfortunately, I've got to go for here.
Oh dear.
So it means I've got to... It's a little bit more difficult to do. Sorry. This we didn't really get much from. This, we got a lot of bang for the money, bang for the buck, yeah. Got a lot out of going for this one. Try this one, here. You won't get that much more out of it, and it's far more riskier because you've got to delay the time that you engage the person. But this is where you need to go with your exploration of basics. You need to find the optimum point where you either hit or you defend. So you have to go through the full remit to most probably come right the way back again. So try and get to underneath the body. Because here, if I try this, can you see the links, the joints? He's got his elbow and his shoulder to absorb what the inasu that you're trying to do. All these joints soak up some of the effect. As soon as I go here, I've got rid of the wrist and it's closer to the body. So your next bit of exploration is, well, I'll try and go for the body. I'll try and take the body then. If I got more out of this one, I need to get further into the body. But it's not really I'm going to get that much more out of it. So your conclusion is I'll go for the elbow most times. But I want you to try going for here. Because you need to do the journey that I did. Yeah? Thank you. Try there. Yeah, carry on. So you didn't really get much out of that going underneath, apart from maybe a smelly hand now. Because you've gone underneath his armpit. Sensei, can I? So, best way is maybe dropping and coming underneath for this one. Drop and lift. So, drop and lift. So try it with your partner, just underneath and redirect. You try that, but you must have your soft knees and come underneath and then roll. You try that? Thank you. Thank you, Graham. Drop. So we need to keep going back, doing the basic stuff, start putting things in. So when you come to do your Kions or any partner work, you need to first of all, if you're struggling on a part that you're doing, you need to break it down, break it down, break it down. And just remember your basic ingredients.